Hey there, folks. Have you ever wondered why we do so much stupid shit? Why, say, someone will sit on their couch and say, I need to change my life, I need a better job, I need a job, and I'm going to do it. And then they just stare at the wall for several years and then bitch at the world because nothing changed? Or the guy who's with an awesome girl and says, man, everything about this relationship is working. I'm going to go fuck my ex now and ruin it. Or the girl that just dates guy after guy, even though there's no signs of those guys being worth a shit. Or the girl with a college degree but marries three morons in a row. You ever wonder why people do this? I think it's too easy to just call them stupid or bad. That's just too easy of a term to throw around. You know, they're tying their shoes in the morning, they're getting out, driving to work. You know, these people have brains, and there are stupid people out there. But just using the word stupidity, I think it's too easy. Just like using the word bad to describe someone that commits crime is too simple. I think we're self-destructive by nature. I think it's basically like a program inside our computer to self-destruct, just like we have a program to survive, to procreate. And it is deep-seated in our DNA. It is thousands of years old. Even if you don't want kids, your DNA still wants you to have kids in a way. It wants you to keep going. And, you know, your instinct has no morals to it. It just says, do this, not this is good. And as old as that survival instinct is, you know, the yang to that yin, the freaking Garfunkel to that Simon, whatever, there's that program that sets you on a path to self-destruction. So you got the survival instinct that says, keep going, and the other program that says, way, not so fast, guys. And in my opinion, that program starts to take control when an organism starts to suspect its own weakness, starts to suspect that it might not be good for the world, that it doesn't need to be around. I don't mean it just hits a button and self-destructs, end of Dr. Strangelove, everyone's dead. I just mean it puts you on a path to self-destruction bit by bit. This program tells you to start chipping away at who you are, chipping away at your power, your focus, everything that makes you you, until you're left with just a helpless being that just throws caution to the wind and then wonders why things don't work out. And also I think some people end up screwing their lives up because they think they can't be hurt, they think they're too strong. But to me, that's just the self-destructive instinct tricking you into thinking you're following your survival instinct. And you see people, they have different names for it. They'll say, oh, it's the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. That's an interesting way to put it. I think it's bogus. Because if there's an angel and a devil on your shoulders fighting to see who gets to make you make the better decision, you've given all your power for your life away. You have chosen, you have been tricked into becoming a spectator in your own life instead of an active participant. And the moment you allow yourself to become a spectator is the moment you lose power. Power of your decisions, power of your life, power of your happiness. And I just see that in so many people. They will have a clear good choice in front of them and a clear bad choice in front of them. And most of the time they pick the bad. Not necessarily because they're stupid, it's because they're stubborn and afraid. People are terrified of making good choices. Here's why. You can make 10 good choices and fail 10 times. You can make all the right decisions and be a good person, and your life can still get turned upside down. Because there's no guarantees. Because your life is not just made up of your actions. Your life is just a part of every chain reaction and domino effect that comes from everyone else's life around you. You can only control so much, and it's very little, but you do have some control. if you acknowledge it, if you take hold of it. People are terrified of changing because to change is to acknowledge weakness. It is to acknowledge that you have not been the person you needed to be all this time. And the longer you go, the harder it is to admit that you need to change. Because it's like you're denying your entire history. You're saying that you were no good. And that takes a lot of guts to say that up to now, you have not been the person you should have been. It takes guts, but it is possible. You have to be okay with the mystery that comes from making good choices. Because it's not always going to be success. You have to make yourself okay with the fear of not knowing how things are going to turn out. Because in what I've seen in people, they keep making bad decisions because they have comfort in the reactions of those bad decisions. So if someone makes good decisions, they don't know what's going to happen. But if they make the same bad decisions they've been making the entire time, at least they can predict their misery. They can predict how crappy their life's going to be. And then maybe something will randomly, as a result of cause and effect and chain reactions, might turn out well. And they'll just be extra happy about it. But they're not going to change on purpose, because that is far too frightening. And just think about what you see in yourself, things you've done, things you see in friends. Am I wrong? Can you not see that in people? We just say, you're stubborn. Why are you stubborn? We're not thinking any deeper than that. People are stubborn because they're scared. People are stubborn because there's comfort in being stubborn. But stubborn people eventually just find a depth of sadness later in life that isn't really matched. Because like other sayings go, that which refuses to bend will break. And so people refuse to bend, and they eventually are too solidified to change, and something comes along and breaks them. They've given their power for decisions away. They gave their power away to other things. Oh, I'll only be happy if this happens, and as long as this happens and this happens, I'll be happy. They've given all their power away. But all those things you give your power away to can go away. They can be taken away. And if you've given all your power away, when things are taken away from you, what are you left with? Fragments, pieces, because you chose not to be the source of your power and your happiness and your focus. You made that choice. And you're afraid to acknowledge, that it's not just a clever saying, you are your own worst enemy. There's multiple yous in there, and they're fighting against each other. And the good news is, when one starts to get too strong, as long as you acknowledge, the beast within, the flaw within, you can start to exercise, that other part of your brain until it can control the self-destructive instinct, because it'll always be there. You will always have a self-destructive instinct, but you can learn to overpower it. And you don't overpower it until you acknowledge it. It doesn't have to be that scary. We're all a little schizophrenic. We might as well get to know the other guy.